Welcome back to Ferocious Education. This is Zed. Today, we're going to be talking about Spartannash. Hopefully, we're going to be able to go towards a hefty due diligence part, technical analysis, institutional buyers, and what I think about this one. So without further ado, let's jump right into this one. So Spartannash. Now, this one here, there's a lot to talk about. I'll go back towards news a little bit towards the very end, but we're going to start taking a look into what the company is more about. First off, let's take a look into the board of directors. First, you have Douglas A. Hacker, the chairman. Douglas A. Hacker has been a director of Spartannash since November 2013 and was a director of Nash Finch from 2005 until the merger. He's currently an independent business executive and formerly served as the executive vice president strategy for UAL Corporations and Airline Holdings Company from December 2000 to May 2006. Now, towards the CEO here and the president, Tony Sarsam was named the president and the CEO in September 2020. Tony has 3 decades of leadership experience in the food industry and has a deep understanding of every facet of the consumer packaged goods and food distribution centers. Previously, Tony led Borden Dairy as a CEO, where he focused on developing people-first culture and renewed commitment to innovations and service before joining Borden. Tony has served as the CEO of Ready Pack Foods. We're going to dive back towards Borden in a second. Now, for Jason Monaco, and this one here is Executive Vice President and a CFO. Jason has served as the Executive Vice President and CFO since March 2021. Again, fairly new. Overseeing the finance and merger acquisition, treasury, internal audit, real estate, and risk management in the company. Prior to joining Spartannash, Jason served as a CFO for New Orleans, LA-based Corner Store Chemical Company. And his extensive background also includes having served as the CFO of Borden Dairy from 2018 to 2020. Now, as well as increasing executive leadership position over 16 years of Kimberly-Clark. Now, a quick thing here, he is also coming in from Borden, similar to the CEO here, Tony Sarsam. Now, a bit into Tony Sarsam. So Tony Sarsam here actually has a blog. It's www.tonysarsamblog.com. And you're able to see a bit more about him. So apparently, while at Borden, he was named as one of the most admired CEO in North Texas by Dallas Business Journal. At Ready Pack, his people-first approach to leadership helped the company grow more than 60% and establish a dominant 80% share of the complete meal salad category. Tony's success at Ready Pack attracted great interest and culminated in sales of the business to Bondale in 2017. And this person has multiple different blog posts. It's really interesting to take a look at. The CEO is very much of a strong character. Now we're going to go back towards some of their history, but a quick thing. The retail banners here shows around 145 corporate-owned grocery stores in 9 states distributed to more than 2,100 independent locations throughout the country. Now let's dive into that presentation from December 2016. What better to tell you about the future of the company if you don't look at the past? Sometimes the past can really show you a lot about the future. So who they are, they were number 351 on the Fortune 500 as a company. Now, they did also have Catio Food. Catio Foods was basically an acquisition of them. So you might be asking who Catio Foods are. So they are a produce distribution farm to store rooted in freshness. They distribute basically whether it's things that are organically grown and healthy distribution. And you're able to see that they are distributing anywhere from things like let's say fruits and vegetables, organics, non-perishable, florals, equipment, and fixtures. So that's who they are. They're still owning them, so that's just something to mention. But there is something very interesting in this presentation. So before going on towards the military distribution, which I did want to find more information on, it's right here. So if you haven't heard about the military distribution, basically Spartannash has a military program. It's one of the main tabs on there about the military distribution programs existing to American heroes and their families. You're getting to see here, this was actually a snippet from the presentation. And they basically say there are approximately 600 distribution contracts with packaged goods companies, and around half of all these kind of commission-based contracts, half of them goes to Spartannash. Now, the numbers would probably have changed, but that is one of the only snippets that I really could find that can highlight it other than the ones in the news. Now, other things I do want to talk about here is the retail. They used to have 158 supermarkets. They right now reduced it a little to around 145 corporate owned grocery stores. Although they still have that distribution of around, 2,100 locations, that's still mentioned on here as well. Now, some of the stores, for instance, in some of the states, they have pulled out from, as you get to see now on the updated map, but it could be for different businesses strategies. We'll take a look into their financials and their growth in a second. Now, but before moving forward, the financial highlights and in terms of sales, we get to see that there might be actually some significant differences from what we're seeing in the last few years. Before moving on forward, if you'd like to see more contents like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button and leave notifications on. If you enjoyed this video so far, also make sure to drop a like to this video, and you can join our Discord in the description below. Now, a bit towards their financials. So you get to see for the full year of 2014 and full year 2015, they recorded around $7.7 billion. And you get to see that in 2020, even though it's a pandemic year, they recorded around $9.3 billion. 2019, $8.5 billion in revenue. 2018, $8 billion, and 2017, around $8 billion. Now, another thing I do want to take a look at is EBITDA. Now, this is adjusted EBITDA. You get to see their adjusted EBITDA for the full year 2014 is around $230 million, similar to 2015. Now, the adjusted EBITDA for 2020 was around $239 million compared to $178 million year over year. Now, some people might look at that and say, hey, it's a massive increase, but in 2014 and 2015, they were scoring similar numbers. So they have been hovering from, I would say, around $170 million to around $240 million back and forth. So keep that in mind in terms of their adjusted EBITDA. Now, in terms of the long-term debt, currently, their long-term debt is somewhere around $466.5 million. Now, over here, you're able to see some of their longer-term debt scoring somewhere closer to there around 2015, $530 million. 2016, that's $500 billion. Sorry, I'm saying million, it's actually in billions. And 2016 in around $567 billion currently. What you're currently seeing, and this is in thousands, I'm not sure if this is actually billions or millions. If it's billions, that would be crazy. It says in thousands, but I do actually think it might actually be in millions. Otherwise, they would have had really significantly reduced it down to only $466.5 million. And I really think that it's actually a million, and that presentation had a mistake. So take it as millions for now, and you get to see that it's on par from what we're seeing right now. I know they decreased their long-term debts by almost $200 million, but so far we're back into almost 2015-2014 territories. Now we're going to take a look into the charts, and you get to see the chart itself usually trades a little bit sideways. We'll take a look back from 2015 and see how it compares till this time. Now, in terms of institutional buyers, before jumping back towards news, there's a lot of activity for this one on the institutional buyers. Things really look interesting because some of them reduce their shares, some of them add on to it, so it's a bit mixed, but I would say more bullish than bearish. Insiders, the last insider activity were sales from Procter Hawthorne from the 10th of June. Let's take a look into the buzz relating towards this one. Spartannash Foundation store guest teams up to raise $330,000 for veteran services. You guys are really all about as well the military distribution and helping veterans, so that's amazing. Spartannash to open new micro-fulfillment center to better service or serve online grocery shoppers. Spartannash Foundation launches company-wide fundraiser to support the U.S. military heroes. Spartannash Foundation store guests raise up to $250,000 for the Special Olympics. Progressive grocer honors 12 Spartannash associate as top woman in groceries. Spartannash announces more perks, greater value for online grocery shoppers. You get to see a bit of what goes on, but we're really looking into the second quarter results that should be coming in as well soon. Or even moving on towards technical analysis, some of these fundamentals here. 0.89 in the price over book. The SP500 price over book is around 3 to 4, almost 5 actually. So that's heavily discounted. Price over sales being around 0.07, that would be insane. I hope these are actually right, but if they are right, Those are some insane undervalued valuations. Fundamentals here are almost no-brainer. But let's move on towards technical analysis and see how this one trades. Now, on the 1 month, 1 day perspective for Spartannash, what we get to see here is that the 30 SMA is above the 10 SMA, which makes it bearish, but the 50 SMA is above the 200 SMA, making it bullish, but the price point is below both the 200 SMA and the 50 SMA, bearish. Now, what does that mean? It just means that there's multiple things going on at the same time, and you should really look into growth over just these technical analysis snippets. In terms of the 80x, you're seeing that this one is trading a bit more closer to the sideways level, and the Williams percent R is a bit closer towards the overbought section, but really it's sitting in neutral. The Williams percent R, by the way, is very similar to the RSI, or the Relative Strength Index. MACD here shows a bit more of a bullish move, a little bit sloppy, not as good as negative sloppiness was, but it's kind of like still attempting towards that positive strong reversal, which is bullish. Now, in terms of momentum, you're going on a positive momentum at 0.66, making it bullish as well. Stochastic fast and stochastic slow both are actually pinpointing upwards, making it bullish. And looking into the moving average bands, you're looking at that this one is expected to trade on the top at 1951 and in the bottom at 1819, showing that the price point currently is between very two smaller resistance and support levels on just the momentum part. Now, on the Fibonacci retracements and going all the way back to 2017, we see significant support level at 1627, and this is a very historical one that's been tested multiple times, and then below there 882. Resistances on the Fibonacci scale: 2088, 2461, 2833, 3363, and 4038. Now, on a price line action, we're seeing a very strong support sitting very closer to the 1858 level. Below there, you're looking down at the 1801. Below there, you're looking down at 1745, and then down at 1694, going down towards 1607, being that's a very critical one, and then $15 is another critical one, $14 going down to 1270, and then down to 1209, 1117, and then 1071, and then down to around 990, and then 882. Significant resistances. There's a very strong resistance at the 1970. Be very careful towards that. Another very strong one at the $21. Above there, 2281 or thereabouts. And above there, $25 as a strong one. 2659 as another strong one. 2787, 3022, 3139, and then going up to around $35, and then up to the 4038 level. Now, in terms of analyst recommendations on the average have an average price target of 1950, which is just about where we're at right now. It has 0 buys, 3 holds, and 0 sell. Now, the last person was last month, reiterated a price target of $21 with a hold position. This person's success rate is 65% with an average return of 6%. Another one last month reiterated a hold position with a success rate of 76% and an average return of 25%. Another one last month reiterated a hold position. This person's success rate is 33% with an average return of around -8%. Now, comes to the question to Ed, what do you think about this one? Fundamentals are cheap, valuations are there. Now, back from 2017 to now, they're on par with the same level. And the market is a lot crazier than it was in 2017. So I really think that it has no business being this low at this level. I think that this is a stock that will probably worth $40 in the next few years, given that the market doesn't just implode. But really, a lot of people have forgotten about Spartannash and their level of fundamentals and valuations. Now, it could be that they have decreased their stores a little, but they're still meeting almost the same adjusted EBITDA, almost the same revenue, and then perhaps they learned a little bit more in terms of which locations might not work, which ones work better, and they can really improve on to that. Spartannash seems to really go well in the Northeast states, and they have distribution all across the country. What do you think about this ticker? Make sure to mention down in the comments below. share, subscribe, and like, and have a wonderful day. Now, if you're still here on this video, make sure to drop down below and join our Discord. We have a lot of different things going on, including, for instance, members that gives picks for free. It's not pump and dumps, we just things we think about, swings, etc. We also have really exciting bots. You can actually use those ones. For instance, we're just testing out this bot, for instance, that gives you Fibonacci resistance points, activities, etc. And we have a bunch of free things, totally free. We run on tips here, and you can ask me questions, suggest stocks, etc. It's a really nice community that has been growing up very fast at a very good rate, and it's totally free. If you would like to join that one, feel free to do so in the description below, and have a wonderful day.